The battle for control of the town of Rastan has involved some of the most prolonged fighting since the uprising against President Assad's regime began 6 months ago. These amateur images can't be verified, but whether it was in Daraa in the south or in Hama in the west, opposition activists say they have turned out on the streets in force to show their support for army defectors in Rastan battling against troops loyal to President Assad. However, the government now appear to have taken the upper hand in the town after sending in a force of 250 tanks and armoured vehicles. Syrian state television showed images of what it said were the streets of Rastan in the aftermath of battle, now apparently back in the hands of the government. The government said that a number of soldiers and police were killed in the fighting, but that it had succeeded in inflicting big losses on what it called the armed terrorist groups. Elsewhere in Syria, the violent repression of demonstrations continues. During this protest in Homs, and again these amateur images can't be verified, the cameraman says the demonstrators are coming under heavy fire. Then there appears to be the crack of gunfire, and many of the protesters scatter in fear. Some, though, remain in the square defiant. According to the United Nations, as many as 2,700 people have been killed in Syria since the protests against President Assad's government began in March. Given the fierce fighting which has taken place across the country so far, it seems that the battle for places such as Rastan is far from over. Will Grant, BBC News.